네, 인식이 안 되고 옛날 걸로 이렇게
가입던 거.
네, 가입된 거예요. 됐죠?
네, 됐어요. 고맙습니다.
네. 자, 이거 됐고.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Alright, I think we got it to work. You're high. Alright, Ryan is here and Tony is here. Excellent. Okay, let's start. I'll keep this on. Alright. Hello Ryan, hello Hyunu. Hello, hello, hello. So we're gonna pick up where we left off last class, right? Okay, we're gonna pick up where we left off last class. Let's go to RT page 10. Alright, RT page 10, Ryan, Hyunu. Let's go over this answering questions page. You see it? You walk beside the stream again. Nice. Good. That sounds like a good day walking beside the stream. Good, good, good. And the good weather feels like spring. Everything's good. Can you see me? I'm lit up now. Alright, let's go to RT page 10. Oof. Okay. RT page 10. Let's get to work. Alright. So, last time we talked about this. Do you guys remember? We talked about here. We talked about different kinds of questions. Do you remember? We talked about New York. Right? Talking about New York, we had this example here. So, answering questions, we saw these 4 kinds of questions. Questions that are right there. Questions that are, you have to look and find some answers together. Questions about the author and you, right? Connecting what you know and the author knows, putting it together. And questions that are just on your own, like your opinion. Or what do you think about something? Okay. We talked about this last time. We answered these first 2 last times, remember? Where does the author live? We talked about this. Where does the author live? So he lives in New York City, and more specific, apartment near Central Park. Remember? Here's our answer. It's right there. All we have to do is write it down. Okay? We don't have to do any thinking. How did the author's opinion of New York change? Now we have to find 2 pieces of information and put them together. If we have a change, that means from the beginning to the end, right? Something was different. So we have to know, what did the author think at the beginning and what did the author think at the end. Okay? We put it together. We think, okay, so the opinion at the beginning, right? It would be awful, hot, humid, sidearms jam with people, right? Really awful, not good. But is our turning word, so we see different. But it's not a big, huge, cool green gateway. Huge, cool green gateway, right? It's nice. So we have a change from beginning to the end. How the author's opinion changed. And we talked about that last time. Now we're going to move on to our next 2 questions. Okay? Our next 2 questions. How does the author feel about Central Park? Okay? And we read this last time. This thing. Let me read it one more time so we can remember. Maybe you forgot. So, I thought living in New York City would be awful. I imagined hot, humid days and sidewalks jammed with people. Sure, some days are hot and humid, but our apartment is near Central Park. The park is like a huge, cool green gateway. I go there. I go there every day. Okay? So, how does the author feel about Central Park, right? We have to be specific here. What is a feeling? Okay, this is the author and you, so it's using your thinking. You cannot, like right there, just copy, paste like this. You can't just pull it out of the story. You have to do some thinking, okay? If you can't answer, right, an incorrect answer would be, how does the author feel about Central Park? Oh, the author thinks the park is a huge, cool, green gateway, right? Is that the answer? No. Okay, you have to do some thinking. You have to do some thinking to find your answer. You can't just copy this, because this is not what the author thinks. This is not thinks, okay? You have to do some thinking, okay? What does the author think? So let's try that out, okay? How does the author feel about Central Park? Can you guys answer that? How does the author feel about Central Park? Let's answer the question. I want 2 answers, one from Hyunwoo, one from Ryan. awful. Did you just take that from here? Henry, did you just say awful because it says awful here? Did you just say awful? First of all, it says New York City. It doesn't say Central Park. Second of all, this is thought before, right? Thought, past tense. Past tense. This is not correct. What does the author think now? Or how does the author feel about Central Park now? Alright, we have two answers here. Ryan says the author feels that Central Park is a very good place. Okay, we can think this here, right? This is your thinking describes like this, so we can think the author is positive. The park is like a positive, huge, cool green gateway, right? Those are positive words. Definitely thinks positively about the park, right? The author feels that the park is good. Right? You go there every day if it's good. You would use these nice positive words if it's good. Okay? Hyunwoo, that's the exact answer I said is wrong. I even gave that as an example, as a wrong answer. Okay? This is how does the author feel about Central Park, right? Huge cool green gateway is not feel, right? That's not feel, right? Right? Oops. For example, like if you ask me, okay, if I say, oh, how do you feel about this pen? I don't say it's blue. Blue is not my feeling, right? That's not my feeling. That's just an observation, right? That's not exactly what it is. How do I feel about this pen? Oh, it writes very well. It's a nice pen. I like the way that you can draw thin lines and thick lines with it, right? I like this pen. That's how I feel about the pen. Not just, I don't feel this pen is blue and white, right? That's not feeling, okay? Here, so we can't say this is a huge cool green gateway. This is not answering the question. That's not answering how does the author feel about Central Park. Okay, we have to answer the question. Okay, so Ryan says, and very good for rest. Right, and we can see there. Right, we can see there that if it must be cool green, right, go there every day, probably resting there. So that's a good guess, right? That the author goes there for rest. That's a good guess. Okay, I would accept that answer. Okay. The author feels positively about Central Park. The author likes Central Park a lot. Okay. So here then we have on our own. Okay. On your own means it's not using anything from the story itself, but using your own thoughts from what do you imagine, right? What do you imagine? Okay. What do you think the author does in Central Park? You have to use some imagination and some of your own thinking. What do you think the author does? How is the volcano, Sean? Alright, everybody answer the question now. What do you think the author does in Central Park? What do you think the author does in Central Park? Oh, the volcano was fun. Oh, you're already back? You went explored the volcano when you're back? Good. So let's get into this question. Okay. On your own question, thinking using your own imagination, what do you think the author does in Central Park? So I type it again. Alright, I got some answers from Ryan. If there are lots of trees, the author could play and have a picnic. Nice, I agree. So I think the author plays and has a picnic. Good. Walking and sleeping. Sleeping in the park. Yeah, maybe napping on the park like a picnic. Like on a blanket, nap in the park. Good. Sean and Hyunwoo. Use your imagination. What do you think the author does in Central Park, right? You're using your own experiences. Maybe the author does what you do in a park. What do you do in a park, right? Answer the question with what do you think, okay? Alright, Sean says eat McDonald's burger. Alright, so maybe the author goes to Central Park and eats a McDonald's burger. Is that something you do in the park? Is that why you answer like that? Using your own experiences? You like to eat McDonald's burgers in the park, so maybe the author also eats McDonald's burgers in the park. I guess that could make sense. Alright, I could understand that. You eat McDonald's burgers in the park, so the author likes eating McDonald's burgers in the park. I get that. That makes sense. What about you, Hyunwoo? Hyunwoo, what do you think the author does in Central Park? You guys can give me more answers while you're waiting for Hyunwoo. Send me more answers. What else could the author do in the park? Hyunwoo, I'm still waiting for your answer. Hyunwoo, tell us, what do you think the author does in Central Park? Hyunwoo, you've never been in a park before? Play with a friend? Alright, so you can go to the park to play with a friend. Alright, so a full answer to answer the question, right? Okay. Remember to answer the question directly. Question is, do you think the author Okay, so it's important, depending on the question, to write your answer so that it answers the question exactly, right? The question is, what do you think the author does? So you say, I think that the author does, right? Just answer the question directly, right? I think that the author, let's do this. I think the author would play and have a picnic in the park since there are lots of trees, right? Say, if there are lots of trees, I would think that the author could play and have a picnic in the park, right? I think that the author walks and sleeps in the park. I think that the author eats McDonald's burgers in the park, right? I think the author plays with her or his friends in the park. I think that the author plays badminton in the park. I think the author sleeps in the park. Okay, a full sentence that directly answers the question. Okay, I need an S here. I mistyped. Directly answers the question. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. All right, we're going to continue on then. All right, that was just the last page from last class. Now we're going to get back to our RG. Okay, I think the author does play with his dog. Okay, okay. Correction. I think the author is with his dog. Okay. I think the author. Remember, one person, the author, plays with an S. Plays. Right, not capitalized. Badminton in Central Park. Central Park is capitalized because it's the name of the park. Badminton is the name of the sport, so it's a lowercase b. Okay, so we don't say does play with the dog. You just say the author plays with his dog. Okay, directly. Remember, plays because author is one person. Okay. All right, let's go on to RT page 11. Let's do some vocabulary. Vocabularia. Alright. Let's do some vocabulary studying. Alright. Alright, let's do some vocabulary studying here. So, listen close, and I want you to say the words out loud while I say the words out loud. Don't just listen to me. You should be speaking too, okay? So let's read it together. Number 1 is surrender. Surrender. Okay? You've probably heard this word before. because you play video games, right? Surrender. When you surrender, you stop fighting someone or something, okay? Surrender means to stop fighting. It's like give up, okay? It's not so much just stop fighting, like just let's have peace. Surrender is you give up, right? Usually if you're losing a battle, losing a war, the army surrenders. They give up. They put their guns down and they raise a white flag is the symbol of surrender. Okay? Give up. Okay? Part of speech, we know when you surrender, right? Something you do. When you surrender, it's action. So we know it's a verb. Okay? Next one. This is a nice word. Particular. Particular. Okay, make sure you say that also. Particular. Something that is particular is one specific thing of its kind. Okay? One specific thing of its kind. I'm going to erase that. Okay, we can do one word actually. One word definition. Particular is specific. They're almost the same word, right? We use them in very similar ways. Particular or specific. Okay? It's like the opposite of any. Any opposite. Okay? For example, let's say I gave this example yesterday. I walk into a shoe store. I want to buy some shoes. But I don't want just any shoes. I want a particular kind of shoes, right? A particular shoe that I'm searching for. I don't want sandals. I don't want boots. I don't want running shoes. I'm looking for Nike Air Jordan 1, right? I'm looking for a particular shoe, right? It means specific or exact. It's one kind of it, okay? Just like that. I'll ask you a question about that after we finish all these words, okay? Something that is particular, right? Is particular describes the thing. The thing is particular. I'm looking for a particular person, looking for a particular book, not just any book. I know which book I'm looking for, right? You can say the name of the book. I'm looking for that one book. I'm looking for that particular thing. It describes a thing, so it is an adjective. Okay? Specific. Next one. Sparkling. Sparkling. Something that is sparkling is shining, clear, and bright. Okay, so sparkling means shining, clear, and bright. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? Sparkling, something is sparkling, right? Just like is particular, is sparkling, we know what part of speech it is. Shining, clear, and bright, these are all adjectives, so we know this is also an adjective. We use it in many different ways, okay? Sparkling. You can have, for example, like, we use it in many different ways. So for example, sparkling water is like soda, right? It's bubbly water, sparkling water. You also have sparkling things as like shiny, right? Sparkling can be shiny, maybe maybe you have something like this, right? Like a ring or something, and it is it's sparkling, right? It's shining, bling in the light, right? It's sparkling, shining, clear and bright, sparkling. Okay, sparkles, right? To sparkle, sparkle, or spark. You guys know sparks, right? You know spark from fire. Oops. Oh. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for a spark car. These are sparks. Sparks are these, like these little pieces of fire or electricity, like bzz, 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 right? Those are sparks. If something is sparkling, it has lots of bright little lights in it. Okay, so sparkling diamonds, sparkling water, things like that. Okay, let's go on to our next one. Clusters. Clusters are small groups of things that are close together, people or things, okay, that are close together. Some foods come in clusters, right? Some foods come stuck all together like this. You don't just buy one, you buy a cluster of the food. Maybe I'll ask you for an example of that, okay? Clusters are small groups, okay? The clusters are the groups. Groups is a noun, so clusters are nouns, okay? Because clusters are groups. Okay. Our next one, sizzles. Sizzles. If something sizzles, it is very hot and makes a hissing sound, right? If you heat up the pan on a stove, you make it very hot, and then you put in some vegetables or any food, it'll go right? That sizzles. Usually something is hot and you put water on it, it sizzles. Water or oil, right? Hot and makes a hissing sound. Pretty specific word. If something sizzles, right? There's an action something is doing. If something sizzles, the something is sizzling. Action, it's a verb. Okay. Last one here. Stroll. Okay. To stroll is to walk in a slow, relaxed way. Okay. To stroll, so it's action again. Verb. Walk in a slow, relaxed way, right? Maybe the author here strolls in Central Park. Maybe walking around here in Central Park, right? Walking in a slow, relaxed way. Oh, that bothers me. I didn't put a red line here. Okay. So let me ask you a question now. What is a fruit? Clusters. Oh, I shouldn't say comes in. That we buy in clusters. What is a fruit we buy in clusters? Okay, send in your answers. Still no answers? What is a fruit that we buy in clusters? A fruit that we buy and they're all kind of in, there's a group of them. You can't just buy one, but you buy a group of them stuck together. Can you think of any fruits like that? Fruits that you buy in clusters? Star clusters. The stars are all close to each other. These are some other clusters. Here's some clusters. Here's some clusters. That looks kind of weird. Weird fruit. Right? Here's a cluster, chocolate cluster. Right? There's a nut cluster all covered in chocolate. We buy apples in clusters. No, not true. We buy apples by themselves. You can buy one apple at the store. You can just go to the store and buy one apple. It's not connected to other apples. You just buy one apple. We do not buy apples in clusters. You can just buy one apple. Can anybody think of a fruit? You can't just buy one. They're all stuck together. Fruits that are stuck together, right? Maybe like this. And they're stuck together. What kind of fruit can we buy stuck together? Grapes. Okay, this is what I was thinking. We buy grapes in clusters. Yes. Grapes in clusters. Bananas in clusters. Yes. Yes, we buy grapes and bananas in clusters. Great. We can also, some stores you can buy tomatoes in clusters, but not all stores. Some stores you can buy tomatoes in clusters. We hear grapes and bananas. Garlic grows in clusters, right? All the little pieces of garlic, right? They're coming together. Strawberry. Do we buy strawberries in clusters? I don't think so. No, we don't buy strawberries in clusters, right? Cluster. They are together. Okay. It's true that we don't buy strawberries alone, but they aren't stuck together the way grapes and bananas are. Alright, so for example, we can have like a grape cluster, right? You see here, like the grapes are all stuck together, right? Like this. There we have all these little branches tying them together, right? We buy, oops, I spelled bananas wrong. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Bad typing. We buy bananas in clusters like this. The bananas are all stuck together like this, right? You can buy tomatoes. Tomatoes in clusters like this, right? The tomatoes can come in clusters. What other fruit can we buy in cluster? Right? This one, I don't know what that is. Don't know what this is. These look like grapes. Blueberries. We don't buy blueberries in clusters, but it looks like they grow in clusters, right? Okay. Mostly grapes, especially, grow in clusters. Okay. What else? Okay. Let's think of another one. Let's see. So stroll. Ryan went on a stroll by the stream today. Here's one. Computer. What is one particular movie you'd like to watch? Or I could say, is there a particular movie you want to watch? Right? We say this, here, I'll delete this old one. Okay, this is better question. Is there a particular movie you want to watch? Like if you go with your friends to the movie theater and we watch any movie, any movie's okay, I'll watch this one or that one or that one. Or is there a particular movie you want to watch? You go to the theater and you say, I want to see that one. A particular movie. Okay. Is there a particular one you want to watch? Or is anyone okay? Harry Potter movie 4. That is the Goblet of Fire, right? Where they have the tournament and Robert Pattinson is in it. I think I remember that one. Series 4. Number 4 in the series. Alright. What about Ryan and Hyunwoo? Do you have a particular movie you want to watch? Is there a particular movie you want to watch? Answer my question, please. Is there a particular movie you want to watch? Anybody? Particular movie you want to watch? Ah, Baekdusan. Yes. Ah. I want to watch that one too. I haven't seen it yet. Is it still in theaters? I think we would spell it like this. Baekdusan. Mountain. Movie. Is it still playing in the theaters? I don't think it's in the theaters anymore. I want to see it. Alright, Hyunwoo's still not answering. Hyunwoo, are you still in the bathroom? It's a long time. Alright, let's go into the next question then. Or the next page then. We're going to continue on. Alright, thank you for the TMI, Hyunwoo. Wow. Okay. Great. I think it's been like 20 minutes. Why are you... Do you have your computer with you in the bathroom? What are you doing? Anyway, we're going to move on to this next page. Let's go to RT, page 14. Okay, RT14 everyone. Okay. Now again we have these answer questions. Like there's a right there, think and search, and the author and you. There's no just you. Okay. So we're going to read this and then we're going to try to answer these questions in the right way. Okay, answer the questions directly. Alright, so I'm going to read this and I want you to read along with me. Don't just listen to me read. I want you to read also. Okay, let's read together. Okay, read with me. Ready? My name is Li King. I grew up in a small village in China. Most of the people in my village were poor farmers. We worked hard to plant and harvest rice. There were no other jobs in the village. My father went to America in search of work. He sent us money every month, and this helped my family survive. Every 2 years, Papa came back to visit us. Papa did well in America, but for us, life became harder and harder. One year, the crop was very bad. Many people in our village went hungry. When Papa came to visit us, he was saddened by what he saw. This was the year Papa decided we would all go to America with him. We traveled on a big ship across the Pacific Ocean. The trip took 21 days. When we got to San Francisco Bay, a small ferry took us to Angel Island. I will always remember standing on the deck of the tender. I thought, one journey is over, and another journey has begun. Just here, just like Hyunwoo. Hyunwoo says he's done. Hyunwoo left the bathroom. Hyunwoo steps out of the bathroom and thinks, one journey is over, and another journey has begun. Okay, glad that you're back, finally. Alright, so we read this here. We have some characters, some action, right? We have a problem here. Right here, a question that's answered directly here. Okay, we can just find it somewhere in here. Question number 1. Question 1 is, how often did Papa come back to China to visit his family? Okay, so it's a right there question. So for this one, you just have to find it here. Look into the story and find the answer. You don't really have to do much thinking. It'll say right there. Okay, so find the answer in here. We did this page? We did this page with the New York City. Did we do this page too? Maybe you're right. Kind of looks familiar. Okay. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Okay. Then let's go to the next question. Okay. Let's go to the next question. This one here, we'll do some more RV. Okay. Oops. Okay, let's do this next page of RV words then. Okay, let's go to page 15. Okay, Sean might have done this page before. The other page. This is review. It is review, but I think you're right. I think we did do this one last week. Now I think I'm remembering. I thought it was with a different class, but maybe you're right. Maybe that is this class. Okay, let's go to RT15. Here we have 8 more words. Okay. Let's go. Okay, read along with me. This first word is averted. Why can't I write? Our first word is averted. Averted. Right? Now, if you averted your eyes, you looked away from something instead of directly at it. Okay? Averted means to look away. Right? You look away from something. Okay? So, right? Here's a person. Right? This person is not looking here. Here the person is looking at you, right? Is looking at you, whoever is watching this video, Sean, Hyun, Ryan. And now the person is usually actually we avert our eyes down. Let me try that again. Okay. Now the person is averting their eyes. They're not looking at you, right? They look away. Do you know what I mean? You can think about maybe some different reasons why. If you look at a person like this, right? Looking at somebody, and then you avert their eyes, maybe you're embarrassed about something, so you look away, right? Avert your eyes, you look away. Okay. You can also avert can mean to avoid, kind of like avoid. You can avert disaster, avert a problem. It's kind of like prevent, avoid a problem, like that. You can avert your eyes, or you can avert a problem, or avert disaster, right? Okay, look away from something. Okay, averted. That's avert your eyes. Okay, let's go to on the next one. Fury. This is a nice one. Fury. What does fury mean? Pretty straightforward. Extremely strong anger. It's very, very angry is fury. Fury is very... Oh, I forgot to tell you the part of speech. Averted, right? You averted your eyes, right? You averted your eyes. You moved your eyes, right? It's action. Something you're doing to your eyes. You averted your eyes. Action. So it's a verb, right? Fury. Okay. What does fury mean? Fury is extremely strong anger, right? Extremely strong anger. Well, anger, what is anger? We know what anger is. Anger is a feeling. Anger is a noun. Fury is a noun. Right? We know that. Alright. Straightforward. Straightforward. Next one. Interrogation. Let me draw that line again. These are very intense words. Very strong words in this list. Interrogation. Okay, the root of the word is interrogate. G-A-T-E is interrogate. A Sean, this ending here, Sean, kind of like the name Sean. Interrogation makes it a noun, right? We know that. Now, what does it mean? What is an interrogation, right? If there's an in front of it, that's another way to know it's a noun. And something, right? Okay? An interrogation is a long period of intense questioning to get information from someone, okay? Let me draw that line again. A long period of intense questioning to get information from someone, okay? So it could be like the police, right? The police interrogate the suspects. They ask these questions, intense questionings, right? It's not just asking questions, right? When I ask you questions, I'm not interrogating you. But maybe the police interrogate you if they think you did something wrong. Like, where were you at this time? Why did you do this? Blah, 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 blah. Do you know this person? Does this look familiar? Right? Are these your fingerprints? Interrogation. Right? Intense questioning. Okay? Next one is stern. Stern. Okay? What does stern mean? Someone who is stern. Alright, so we already know here someone is stern. Right? It describes the person. If you can describe a person with a word, we already know that it's an adjective, even if we don't know what it means, right? We know someone is stern, we know stern is an adjective. Someone who is stern is very serious and strict, right? So maybe a teacher can be stern. I'm a stern teacher, telling the students to follow the rules or you get in trouble, right? Being very serious. I never laugh. Ever. Alright, very stern. Alright, next is accusing. accusing. Okay, the root of it is, as you know, maybe accuse. Okay, accusing here, ing. When you look at someone in an accusing way, you are showing that you think he or she has done something wrong. Okay, that's not exactly, this definition is not very helpful. Okay, to accuse someone is to tell someone you think they have done something wrong. Okay, right? I accuse somebody of stealing the pen. I say, you stole the pen. Right? That's accuse. To say somebody did something wrong. That is accuse. You say somebody did something wrong. That is accuse. You did this bad thing. You broke this rule. That is accuse. Okay, so it's something you're doing, right? You telling someone they did something wrong, so it's an action. Telling someone, it's a verb, right? Next one. This is a nice one. So this L is here, but this L is silent. No, it's not. Solemnly. Why did I say that? Solemnly. No, I was thinking of a different word. Okay, this is solemnly. That was not silent. Solemnly. Oh, the N is silent. I don't know why I couldn't. I'm having trouble thinking in a straight line right now. The N is silent. There's a silent letter. Solemnly. This N is silent. Right? You don't hear this N. I can't speak right. Okay, solemnly. What does solemnly mean? Well, even before we know what it means, we see this ly at the end. We know what kind of word this is. We know right away it's an adverb. Solemnly describes the way you do something. Say something solemnly. It means in a serious way. You can say something solemnly. You can act solemnly. Okay? The way you do something is very serious. Maybe something sad happened, so I answer solemnly. Not joking, not fun, not happy, solemnly. Serious, maybe a little bit sad. Okay? Next one. Cringed. Cringed. Okay, pay attention to the pronunciation here. How to say this one. You guys say it out loud. This is cringed, not cringed or cringed, 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 right? The root here is without the D. Cringe. I think you guys spend time on the internet, so maybe you know this word. You see it a lot on the internet. Cringe is like move or flinch slightly because of discomfort or fear. I can show you in a second on the camera, right? But we know what part of speech it is. Move, flinched, right? It's action. It's a verb, something you do. A person cringed, right? Cringe is like this. Cringe is like you're looking and you're like this. This is cringe. Why might you cringe? A couple reasons. Maybe I smell something bad. I smell some food, this bad food, or cringe like this. Or maybe I'm watching a video on YouTube of somebody riding their bike and crashing, and they crash so bad I cringe, right? I cringe like that. Okay? Lots of different reasons to cringe. Oops. Last word here. Okay. Last word here. Let me pick a different color. What color should I use? Orange. Okay. Last word here is craned. Craned, right? We know crane. A crane is like a truck that builds things, right? This is a crane. A person's in here and they move this around, right? We know that. But crane is also a bird, and crane is also an action. Okay? Crane is also a verb. It means to move in like a long way, to stretch, kind of like the crane stretches high to build. A crane bird stretches a long neck. If you crane your neck, you stretch it to let you hear or see something better. Okay? So what you're doing, you stretched it. You craned your neck. Right? It's an action. Also a verb. Okay? Right, so for example here, I can't see over the person in front of me, so I craned my neck to see what's over there. I craned my neck, right? Not like this. Craned neck, right? Action like that. Alright. Any questions? It's the end of class now. It's 5:50. I know we started a little bit late today. We had some internet problems, but we still got 2 pages of vocabulary done. Pretty, not bad, not bad. Any questions? No questions from Sean? Nothing? What do we do? RT10. What is that? Alright, then I guess that's it for today. Okay, no questions? Then I hope you have a good evening and practice your English. Read an English book. Maybe watch English YouTube if you're on YouTube right now. Practice your English, listening, speaking, reading, writing, all those things. Okay? Have a good night. Be safe. Stay warm. It's cold again, I think, today. Oh, not cold. It's been getting a little bit colder. Okay. Bye, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. See you later. Good night. Goodbye. Goodbye.